When a centralized system fails, the statements coming from its leadership immediately devolve into useless background noise. Look at this chart. HHS recently slashed the childhood vaccine schedule to restore trust. Meanwhile, the reality shows 1,792 confirmed measles cases. The legal system is actively rejecting this top-down maneuvering. A federal judge halted the directive, ruling the agency acted arbitrarily. What this gap reveals is a severe mechanical lack. The governing institutions are moving far too slowly and erratically to manage the actual conditions they are nominally in charge of. Step 1 in understanding this environment is to stop looking at the political figureheads. The daily press briefings and the agency heads issuing conflicting statements no longer dictate the actual trajectory of the system. Think of this as an eviction. We have to deliberately shut out the partisan noise and policy ambiguities, because right now, those inputs are entirely friction. They distract from the truth. This institutional lag is visible in the Google ad tech antitrust case. Over in the Eastern District of Virginia, the federal judge's self-imposed deadline for a ruling has already passed by more than 3 weeks. This sets up the governing rule for our analysis. When the center fails to govern, reality routes around it. The only reliable metrics left are cold, unfeeling data points. To find objective truth in a chaotic system, look strictly at the movement of private capital and discrete behavior. Here is a chart tracking official estimates against financial wagers. The institutional narrative estimates a 55% chance of severe outbreaks, but the Kalshi market prices the probability at 68%, 13 points worse. On Polymarket, an active order book holds $270,000, betting cases cross 2,000 by April 30th. That same pricing logic applies to the Google antitrust docket. The market contract for structural divestiture currently prices at 0.42, a highly improbable outcome according to the capital actually on the line. Prediction markets do not panic and hold no political allegiances. They calculate the absolute, revealing exactly what capital knows that institutions do not. This pricing of reality registers at the level of the individual household, manifesting as a behavioral triage where citizens construct their own personal trust hierarchies. The mechanics of this shift are straightforward. Public trust is abandoning volatile, centralized environments and flowing directly into stable, localized systems. Check this graphic. Confidence in HHS political leadership has dropped to 38%, while local primary care providers remain rock solid at 86%. When faced with conflicting information on newborn guidance, parents choose pediatric associations over the CDC by a 4-to-1 margin. The public is not acting out of panic or helplessness in the face of institutional chaos. They are rationally building parallel, functional rails to absorb the volatility and protect themselves. This gap between the official narrative and structural reality cannot stay open indefinitely. It is strictly bound by a set of rapidly approaching temporal deadlines. The immediate collisions happen within days. First, the resolution of the Polymarket April 30th measles contract. Right alongside it, Judge Brinkema's overdue structural versus behavioral antitrust ruling. This timeline tracks those immediate resolutions toward the ultimate, macro-level binary test, the November 2026 U.S. Measles Elimination Status Review. That final verdict hinges entirely on whether the current 0.4% weekly case growth holds, or if it accelerates. Time is the ultimate arbiter here. Within weeks, the systemic gap will snap shut, delivering undeniable proof of whether the official narrative or the market's price was correct. Do not sit around waiting for central authorities, politicians, or federal agencies to magically self-correct and restore the system. The moment this video ends, identify one specific area of institutional friction or failure operating in your own life. Discard the official narrative surrounding that problem entirely. Substitute it with the cold, absolute certainty of your own localized triage and structural reality. Surviving an era of systemic volatility requires ruthlessly pricing the absolute, regardless of whether the official narrative ever catches up.